Those Were the Days is filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Those Were the Days, the show where we watch old TV with new eyes. I am this week's host, Amy, and it is the night before the day. And we're here to talk about yet another holiday classic. And this week I brought to us A Garfield Christmas, one of my favorites. We'll get into that a little bit more, but I can't do this by myself. I need some boys. We've got the good boy, Travis.
So Garfield hates Mondays, which I never understood because why would a cat hate Mondays? He doesn't have a job to go to. He just lays around and eats lasagna all day. But, I don't hate Mondays. For me, I could just never get the hang of Thursdays.
We have the bad boy, Steven.
Oh, yeah, I want to believe that I'm more like John, but I think most days I roll out of bed and I'm mostly Garfield. But I think really all of us wish we were more Odie.
And the attaboy Audie.
If I've learned anything, it's that you're never too old to be annoying kids to your parents on Christmas morning.
Oh, it's so true. Oh, A Garfield Christmas. Here we go. I love this one. This was on. We had tapes. We had a bookcase in the closet in the living room, and we had tapes that were taped off of television of all the Christmas specials. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Complete with all the commercials and all the everything. Sometimes if my dad was sassy, he would pause the recording because he worked in TV. So he was, and I mean, he's like got the watch, and it was great. And this one was definitely in the regular rotation to the point where a few years ago, it's probably more years than I think because time, what is it? But I did go and buy like DVDs of a lot of my favorite Christmas specials that were available, and this one is decidedly one of them. I think it also has Halloween and Christmas, but I mean Halloween and Thanksgiving. But A Garfield Christmas. I want to know what you guys remembered about or what you associate with Garfield Christmas, what you did with it. We'll start with you, Steven.
Oh, this is going to surprise you, but I have never seen A Garfield Christmas until today when I watched it earlier. Yeah, because I watched the cartoon a bunch as a kid, but I did not, I guess I just wasn't even aware of A Garfield Christmas special, which is a shame because I need this in the rotation. So this is, I don't know how many years we've been doing holiday themes, but Amy keeps bringing the big ones, Emmett Otter.
The like Steven specials.
Right, the ones that I'm like, why have I not seen this? I was so upset. And when I was bringing up to my friends, because sometimes I'll crowdsource what show I should do to like people at work and stuff, Garfield Christmas was mentioned every time. Every time. So it meant a lot to everyone I talked to, and I'm like, do what now? Garfield had a Christmas special? No, so I had no relationship to it, but I do now.
Awesome. Audie, how about you?
Similar boat to Steven. It wasn't one that was a regular one for me. I knew it existed. I knew I'd seen it, but it wasn't one that I always like, ooh, I gotta watch it. But it was so fun to watch. I mean, the same way. Love Garfield. Love everything about Garfield. And, Odie was a nickname of mine when I was a kid. So, but yeah, this was a lot of fun.
How about you, Trav?
I adore this special. This was one of the ones I had recorded and watched all the time. There was a time where I could have told you every commercial that played during the recording of this. I mean, I grew up reading. If I didn't have the book, my friend Nate had the Garfield book. Like he had just about every single one that was ever published, and loved Garfield and Friends. And this special in particular, watching it this time, like once again, core memories were getting unlocked, including one that I had absolutely forgotten about. But when that song is playing at the end of the Christmas with the Yodelay-Hee-Hoo,
Did you get? I was activated like a sleeper
yes,
agent. I'm just sitting on my couch singing it. I didn't even know I was singing it. It just
100%
happened.
same thing. Like it started and I was like, oh my, what, where did this come from? Like,
Damn it. Yeah. Okay, good. This is because we're exactly the same age. We're in
yes.
a bubble. We're in a perfect bubble of where this was. If you were not 6 in 1987, you were not on board with this. Yeah, so Garfield Christmas 1987. Man, I love this. Jim Davis said that this is semi-autobiographical,
Hmm.
which is kind of fun. And basically it was rebroadcast until 2000.
Which is
Every
incredible
Christmas.
That's
to
That's
think about.
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
13 straight years, 14 straight years of this being on the air every year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about this because I'd forgot. Like, I mean, last year at work was so crazy that I didn't do my sort of like annual, like, I'm gonna watch all my Christmas specials. Like, I think at one point I just like sat myself down and watched Charlie Brown because I needed something. Like, I just like my soul needed something. But I didn't do like my annual watch. So it's been like a little bit since I watched this, and I had forgotten some things. So it opens with what we find out is a dream prior to the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
And John is dressed as an elf and he wakes up Garfield and he's like, "Get up. It's time for Christmas. It's time for presents. Here, you can't open presents on an empty stomach. Here's your breakfast lasagnas. You can eat your way to the
Mhm.
tree."
It took me a minute to figure out that this was a dream because it wasn't that out of character for John to do
No.
something like this.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Except the opening with the way the house was decorated. I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
dear Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, because it opens on the house and it's wild. So uh Garfield's present arrives via forklift. And it's a chair where you sit on Santa's lap, essentially, and you lift his hand and his hat comes down and comes on your head, and whatever you think of, it will produce out of the present bag that's next to it. So John demonstrates with a very jaunty hat.
Hmm.
Garfield starts with a pile of jewels because why not?
Sure.
And then we launch into our opening credits. Great.
With a catchy song.
It's really
Mhm.
good. I did not remember how much music
Yeah.
was in this episode. Like obviously the
Yeah.
song at the end. But there's way more music in this than I thought there was. They were like going for something here. Like they
But-
were really trying.
Where did everybody watch this, by the way? I'm curious.
I watched it on Peacock.
Okay. Because I watched it on Peacock as well.
Okay, that's where I watched it. But at first, I thought you were wondering, like, did I watch it in my living room, cozy by the fire? I think that's a relevant question, though.
Sure.
Where did
Yeah.
you
Oh,
watch
sure.
it? I watched it in the living room on the big TV with my son
Yeah.
running around playing with Transformers and my wife wrapping
Perfect.
presents, and that was probably the best overall
Yeah.
atmosphere I could have
Yeah.
been watching it in.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I'm curious because we'll get to it, but there is a small bit that was cut out of what we saw
Yeah.
Okay.
that I distinctly remember, and it didn't occur to me until it ended that had been cut out. We'll get there when
I
we get
watched
to
it
that
on
part.
Prime.
I'll
I don't
mention
know
it.
if that's going to be any different. But...
Okay.
No, it's also cut out of the Prime version.
Okay.
Okay. So then we get John actually waking Garfield up. And it's Christmas Eve. And we're packing everything up and we're going to the farm. And Garfield is not into this at all. He would like, why can't they come to me in my nice warm bed? Which, as I now understand, you know, as it
Yep.
has been very cold here in the Northeast, and I'm going to have to get up and go an hour to my parents' house and then a further 35 minutes to my sister's house, and then eventually about an hour and a half home. I go, yeah, what? Yeah. Why can't you come to my nice warm bed? And he packs all the presents up, and everybody gets in the car, and we have another song.
Yep.
All
Even
about the
okay.
family on the farm.
One little thing before singing, the one thing
Yeah.
that made me laugh so much that I had to write a note about it is Garfield being this internal monologue of him speaking. And he's
Yeah.
like, why am I whispering to
Oh,
myself?
yeah.
I was like,
that was real good.
Ugh.
And quick shout out to Lorenzo Music
Mhm.
as the voice of Garfield because he's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I will never forget, and I don't know how true this was or how long this went on, but there was a special about the making of the Garfield animated series
Mhm.
that I had on tape as a kid. And I remember Jim Davis talking about Lorenzo Music, and they had a shot of him like in the recording booth and he was facing away from the camera. And I just remember Jim Davis being like, Lorenzo Music, who does the voice of Garfield, whose face I've never seen. For whatever reason, that just stuck in my head. And also, and this was something I learned today. I learned two things today about this special that blew my mind. One I'll save, but the other one was the voice actor for John is a man named Tom Huge. His only credits on IMDb are voicing John Arbuckle in all of the animated Garfield stuff for years. That's
Wow.
it.
No,
That's
no.
all he ever did. He's really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just amazing that he never did any other roles.
He's like an
I
accountant.
like it. He
on the
found
side.
a lane.
Yeah.
right.
Uh, so this song is really good because John is talking about all the great things, like Dad will cut down a tree,
hmm
and Garfield says chores.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Garfield
And
said in this sequence is perfect.
yeah, and it's
Uh-huh.
big fat hairy deal. So
Oh,
good.
yes. Oh.
The electrical contractor thing.
Electrical, yeah, electrical contracting is so good. That really stuck with me as a child. I remember,
It's really great.
remember that an awful lot. Um, so they get to the farmhouse, beautiful old
oh.
farmhouse. What?
But the final line
Mhm.
of the song from
Yeah.
Garfield,
Yes.
I never got this as a kid,
Yeah.
but I love it. The insomnia and anxiety that kids get having to wait.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Very good.
So they get to the farmhouse, and John's like, "All right, everybody, behave." And Garfield says, "Don't worry about it. I'll wait in the car." So yeah, oh, that was my favorite part, right? They're like, it'd be mom and dad and grandma and doc boy and good boy and bad boy and attaboy.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So they go in. I love John's mom. John's mom is like a young Muriel Bang from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes.
Like,
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I've never made that connection before, but holy crap.
it's real
Holy
good,
crap.
right?
That's real good.
So he says hi to his mom and his dad and Doc Boy. He says, "Don't call me Doc Boy." And then comes my favorite character, who I have
But
only what?
Doc Boy, by the way, voiced by TV's Squiggy.
Yes.
Holy cow, you're right. I was just looking that up myself.
Oh wow.
Yep. My favorite character, who I've only gotten closer to as I have grown older. We hear from the corner, from the rocking chair by the window. "Oh, don't worry about me. I'll just sit here in the dark all alone."
That was so good. I love this salty grandma trope that's just like,
Mhm.
no one cares or loves me. I'll
Mhm.
just be
Yep.
over here dying.
I'll just die.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
I mean, my exact note was Grandma, she is the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Oh, she's
Yes.
amazing.
She was the other one who I did not realize growing up, and I did not realize probably until today, that she was voiced by Pat Carroll.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
I just never made that connection.
And so obviously, Garfield is like, this lady gets it. So they bond because he gets to sit in her lap in the rocking chair, and and I did not remember how like deeply sad some of this is.
Yeah.
I did once it started,
Yeah, I
and
was
I'm
like,
like,
oh,
"Oh,
right.
oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this gets, like, heavy," like,
Yep.
oh,
Quick note on Pat Carroll, by the way, because I think this is amazing. She acted until she died. So
Yep.
mhm,
she was active. She passed away in 2022, and she was active that year in Disney Dreamlight Valley, still doing the voice of Ursula.
Yep.
Uh,
mhm.
and that is amazing to me that she was 95 and somebody wheeled her into a booth and was like, say
Wow.
evil things for me
Yeah.
and make it convincing. And it is. I've
Mhm.
played Dreamlight Valley, and she's very good in it.
Yeah.
So she knew what she was doing.
Legend.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So John, Odie, and Garfield go for a walk in the snow. And so John's walking through the snow talking about the brisk air and how great it feels, and Odie's doing his little jumps in the thing, and John says and the view. And Garfield, all you can see is his tail poking up out of the snow. And he's like, what view?
John was freezing me during this whole scene, by the way, because he's just in
Yeah.
his normal
Bro,
clothes.
put on a coat, man.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I
Don't
can't.
be that guy. Don't
Yeah,
be the guy who makes not wearing a coat your whole personality.
no.
The things you notice as an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that kid wearing basketball shorts when it's 35 degrees outside. You're like, stop
Yeah.
it. Put on some pants. I'm looking at you, Travis. I know you're one of them. I can tell.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have done that before.
You people have a look.
So meanwhile, in the house, Mom is making her sausage gravy. This part is so good.
Love it so much.
And Granny comes in with her chili powder, and she's gonna spike the gravy.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom goes, well, now you wouldn't be now I know you're not gonna spike my gravy with your chili powder. No, I wouldn't dream of it. The mom leaves, and she's like, except my sausage gravy won, got the blue ribbon at the state fair, and yours didn't even place. So I don't know what I know about making gravy. Who am I to know about making gravy? The Greene County Fair champion is who.
This reminded me.
So good.
This reminded me so much of an argument my father-in-law had with my brother-in-law, Jacob, every Christmas over whether water or milk is used in gravy. And they would bicker back and forth all the time over milk or water. And it was just the greatest conversation every year. Every year, there was a fight.
Yes.
Go into verbal blows over whether milk or water is used.
Oh, I love it.
And then Granny puts the chili powder
Oh, she 100%
into the gravy.
chili powder in the gravy.
Yep, does it. Don't leave your food unattended around the old people. They'll just do what they want.
Yeah. Garfield wanders in and is like, whoa, sausage gravy. And we get a good cartoon character eats a hot thing,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
always good 100% of the time. Cartoon character eats something spicy, top tier. And so Odie's out in the barn.
Mm-hmm.
Odie's up to something. This is the main storyline that I remembered from my childhood. This
Mhm.
is like
Same.
this is the main part that I remembered. So Odie finds a piece of wood and a little rake, like a little hand rake. That's it. That's all we get right now. All right, so they're having dinner. This dinner. Well, I just made a little something. It's the whole table, and there's so much stuff, and then the mom's like, oh yeah, and John's like, oh, there's so much, I don't know I can't decide. I guess I'll just have a piece of pie. And she's like, apple, peach, pumpkin, lemon. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. That's an energy that I understand.
Well, because first it's Mom, can you pass the potatoes? And it's
Oh
like
yeah,
scalloped, mashed, fried, roasted.
Oh
I
gosh,
can't decide. It all looks
so
so
many
good. I'll just have a
things.
piece of pie.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Grandma's sneaking plates full of food down to Garfield and Odie.
When
The
I-
service is excellent, but the decor could use some work. I give it 2 stars.
At
Because you're
Christmas,
just staring
man,
at knees.
I have a Southern family, so it was like everybody bring your own casserole, and it was just
Yeah.
casserole dishes left and right, full of something, and you just got
Mhm.
scoops. You went through and got scoops.
So, after dinner, they decorate the tree. And there's a lot of discussion. This is another one of the arguments, right? This is the classic argument. Because they're going to put the star on top of the tree. And he's like, the dad's like, I don't understand why we have to do it last. Why
Yep.
can't we put the star on the top of the tree and then put the tree out? And I believe the answer that's given is it's Christmas.
It's
Which
Christmas, and it wouldn't be. It's tradition, and it wouldn't be Christmas without
wouldn't
that.
be
Yeah.
And
Christmas.
you know, as you know, Amy,
I do
you
know.
don't
I
mess
don't
with
mess
tradition.
tradition. I am aware. Um, and so they're trying to figure out how to get the star on top. Dad, Doc Boy is on all fours. Dad is standing on Doc Boy, trying to reach the top of the tree. So Garfield wanders by. And John says, Garfield, I have a mission for you. And yeah, he says that they need the star put on the top of the tree.
And this was the point in it where I realized now, as an adult, that Jim Davis wrote this is just a series of Garfield comic strips, like daily comic strips strung together.
Yes. Yeah, into a storyline.
Which I totally, I never got that as a kid, but I get it now, and it's great. It's so well done.
So Garfield does manage to get the star on the top of the tree. And as he's taking his bow, because he put the star on the top of the tree, he falls through the tree, and a bunch of the decorations come. And then comes a line that Garfield used to say a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I used to say a lot too.
Yeah, me too.
The number of times I have used this line in my life is staggering.
Yeah, and you can't use it now.
No.
It stood out to me too. I
The
think I know which
government will
line you're
come for
talking about.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, and so he says, whoever invented Christmas trees should be drug out in the street and shot, which he used to say a lot. And I, as a child, I know I said it.
Oh
I mean,
yeah. I've said it
didn't
now.
know.
I'm not gonna hide from it. I've been in
no, I'll
family
say it
conversation
now.
and been
I
like,
mean-
bruh, bruh, bruh. It's all not. I mean, come on. Nobody actually wants
But it's-
anybody to get shot.
No,
Just something
but
to
it's
say.
wild in a kid's show.
It is. Well, you say that, but like what, 1987,
Yeah.
and then like back before that, we were Looney Tunes was kind of what we had, and there were anvils and getting people getting blown away. Elmer Fudd and Daffy Duck's whole stick. I mean,
Yep.
Look, we were, and we turned out okay. Most of us
We're
turned out okay.
fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're doing great, gang.
Yeah, we're great. None of us want to shoot anyone. You know,
Not today.
yeah, not the 4 of us. We're fine.
I gotta say though, one other line that got me right before that though, when he's Garfield's line when John asked him to put the star on, he said, "If I'm not back in an hour, send a banana cream pie after me."
Yeah. So, we get another song because Mom's gonna play at the piano, and we get a very
Okay, so this is the moment where they cut like a minute out of this.
Did they?
And I remember this from being a kid, and I did go and find it. I had to confirm it. I went and found it on YouTube. Before the piano gets started, it's either before it or right after Mom's song. Doc Boy sits down at the piano and starts to play.
That's right.
and he's playing, and it's horrible. Like he
Bad.
starts to play, and dad is like, eye twitching and all that, and grandma comes over and is like, get off there, and she just
She
elbows him
boogie
off the
woogies,
piano.
right?
She goes boogie woogie with O Tenenbaum,
Yeah, that's right.
does that, and then she gets done, and mom is like, well, that was certainly something, and she's like, you better wait for those ivories to cool
Cool
down before you
down.
play anything else, and like
Mhm.
walks off, all
All
saunters
right.
off. Like, it's amazing, and they,
That's
for whatever
right.
reason, cut it out of
Huh.
this.
Huh.
So I will, Stephen,
Yeah.
I will put that in our chat for you to watch, because
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I need to see that. Yeah.
I
And
wonder
it's
if
just
there's like a
more of
weird
grandma being
music
great.
right thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Could
like a
be.
Wonder
some
Years
weird.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while the family, which is actually like a lot of people in a choral situation, are singing another Christmas song, Garfield goes to sit with grandma, who talks all about her dead husband.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, and about how, he couldn't tell his kids he loved them because it was that time.
Yeah.
But at
Lord.
Christmas, he couldn't help himself. I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
hard life.
Yeah.
Again, I've heard it said many times that whatever you're doing as a father today is 3 times more than most fathers ever got
Yeah.
to do. Even
Right.
when you're not
Yep.
trying,
Yeah.
you're doing better than most.
You're doing great.
You're doing fine.
I just want to say that I had the best dad. I really did. Like, my dad is amazing. Like, I would have like a tea party, and he'd have been, out working in the yard all day, and he would come in and he would shower and he would put on a shirt and a tie, and then we would have, we'd have our little
Have your
tea together.
fancy dinner party.
Yeah. So okay. All right. This is the part. I love this part. So after they finish their song, Mom says, and now it's time for Dad to read the traditional Christmas story
Yeah.
called, and the boys go, Pinky the Clown Who Saved Christmas.
Oh,
And
love Binky the Clown.
Dad is like, these are grown ass men. Like, why do I have to read this story? And they're like, come on. So my favorite is the back and forth between John and Doc Boy. And because Doc is like, I don't know, maybe he's not gonna do it this year.
Their enthusiasm for that story is so good.
Good. And so the dad like tries to like kind of do it. And they're like, no, 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 no. You need to do it with feeling, and you need to do the voices.
Mm-hmm. Like
Oh my gosh.
Garfield, the Garfield comics had Binky the Clown, right?
Yep.
That was the story. That was the thing. It was like in Calvin and Hobbes, it was Hamster Huey and the Gooey Kablooey. That was the thing for Calvin. And for Garfield stories, for John especially, it's Binky the Clown.
Yeah.
This you do feel all of Dad's just shame in his 2 boys having just
Mhm.
this is where they're at in life. They still want me to read a book. John's I don't even know what he does all day. Dog boy, Lord help him. And here I am in a chair reading this stupid
Yep.
story to these grown men
For the 40th
for the
time.
40th time.
I know at one point John was actually a cartoonist and did a
Yeah.
comic.
Oh, okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Garfield, so at night, Garfield and Odie are sleeping in front of the fireplace, and Odie gets up and goes off, and Garfield's like, all right, well, what is happening here? At some point, Odie gathered some more supplies. I forget exactly when, but he got like a plunger handle and a piece of wire. So he's out in the barn, and he is assembling these items into something, which he then covers with a paper bag. While he's in there, Garfield happens to fall into a box that contains a pile of letters. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Mhm.
Yep. No.
And he's like, these have to be at least 50 years old. So it's Christmas morning. Everybody's opened their presents. Dad has received the biggest cowboy hat. Someone has
Mhm.
received, they looked exactly the same. So it's a
Well,
little
wait,
tricky.
it was Christmas morning hours ago at 1:30 a.m. when they
Yes.
came into
Oh
Dad's
my
room.
God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Because my sister and I tried this and it doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, 1:30, and they're like, they open the door. I can't believe I almost forgot that part. Okay. So they open the door. It's John and Doc Boy. And they're like, Dad, 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 are you up?
Are you awake? And all I can picture, live action of this, John and Doc Boy are Will Ferrell
Yeah.
Oh,
and
Yes.
John C. Riley.
Yes. Yes.
yes, John
Yeah.
C. Riley. Like
Oh my
that
gosh.
is John
Yep.
Arbuckle and Doc Boy Arbuckle right there.
Yes.
Yep.
Doing that at 1:30 in the morning.
And then they
I
go,
can't not
hey,
unsee that
Dad.
now.
Hey, Dad. And turn the light on. Which, I mean, we don't see the other side of the bed, but like, presumably their poor mother is there.
Yeah.
Either that or she's downstairs cooking, which is the
It's true.
alternative. So the dad is like, it is go to bed. It is 1:30 in the morning. They go, well, technically, that's Christmas morning. Let's go open presents. And he's like, absolutely not. So my favorite is this part, right? Because they're leaving. And he's like, well, it is Christmas morning. You know that, and I know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe I almost forgot that part. It's so good. Okay, so Christmas morning. Everybody's opened their presents. John has a giant sweater,
hmm
just the biggest sweater. It's so
It's like
good. It looks
4
very comfy.
sizes too big for
But
him.
it's the fact
So
that the sleeves are like a foot too long.
yeah.
It's so good. So everybody's got their presents, and Garfield gives Grandma the letters that he found. And this gets good. It gets good.
It gets real good. And my
Mhm.
exact note for it was, and here come the waterworks.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So it's really, I mean, it's really sweet. And it's the love letters that Grandpa wrote Grandma when they were dating.
hmm
Courting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Courting.
Which apparently got kind of saucy. And I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Um,
Yep, because it's inappropriate for a lady to talk about her romance.
yeah.
That's right.
So, that's great. And she's like, thank you, Garfield. I didn't, I don't know how you found these. He's like, well, I guess you could say I fell into them. Well, it turns out there's one more present. Odie's all excited to show
Mhm.
Garfield this thing, and he's all excited, and he's all excited, and he pulls the paper bag off, and Garfield goes, wow, what is it? Because it's the little hand rake on a stick on a board. And Odie shows him that he has made a back scratcher.
Yes, he has.
It's real good. And Garfield's like,
Mhm.
oh, let me try that. Turns out it's great. So Garfield, in a rare moment, hugs Odie and thanks him. And and then it's the best. Because it's Garfield learns the true meaning of Christmas. It's not the giving, it's not the getting, it's the loving. There, I said it.
That was
Now
good.
get out of here. Garfield Christmas. And then Travis and I were activated like sleeper agents from the Cold War to sing
Yep.
good old fashioned Christmas down on the farm. A little overeaten never did you any harm. I launched into it.
Yeah,
Full
absolutely.
gusto.
It was incredible how much that like had been buried deep in my subconscious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because like I remembered parts of the songs, but like I don't know that I could have like prior to sitting down to watch it today, I don't know that I could have pulled that one out as one of the songs, but I knew every word of it.
Yep. Exactly that. Like I couldn't before watching this, couldn't have told you about that song at all. The second the melody started, I knew it all.
Yeah.
All of it. It was insane.
It was it was a wild time. I'm so glad that it wasn't just me though. That's what I love
impressive.
about watching the old things is when like deep in the dusty dendrites,
Oh, yeah.
something lights up for the first time. And they're like, "Wait, we have this on file. Hold on." Incredible. And then like inevitably a Campbell soup commercial, and then
Oh,
next
yeah.
up on CBS.
Yep.
Next on TBS,
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote.
A Garfield Christmas. I want to know what everybody thought. I already know Travis liked it. Travis, go ahead. You start because I already.
This was just, it took me back. Like I loved Garfield. I loved the Garfield cartoon. Garfield and Friends was one that I watched religiously on Saturday mornings.
Yep.
Like I said, I've read just about every Garfield comic strip that was ever produced by Jim Davis. And this was great. Like Grandma is an amazing character.
She's goals, man.
She's just so perfect in this. And I love Odie so much. And I love him more now even than I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it was great, and it was super fun, and it really took me back, and I did get a little bit emotional. Like the moment with Grandma sitting in her chair rocking back and forth, just petting Garfield, and he is loving it while listening to her just reminisce. Like he was tugging at the heartstrings. I absolutely adored this.
Yeah. Audie, how about you?
Oh yeah, this is great. It's funny. One thing I was thinking about, especially when Garfield's climbing up the tree, is immediately made me think about Scott Kurtz's PVB comic. If anybody's familiar with that, Scott Kurtz has a orange cat in that comic, Scratch Fury, Destroyer of Worlds, not unapologetically based on Garfield, who at one point during Christmas will inhabit a tree and terrorize Christmas. And I was like, Jesus, this was the genesis of that idea. Good Lord.
Had to have been.
I mean, cats inhabiting Christmas trees though is not that's fairly common.
Right. But in the comic it's like the tree becomes a character.
Yes.
And just terrorizes Christmas itself. But yeah, I mean, it's Garfield. It's great. It was wonderful.
Awesome. Steven, how about you?
Well, first, I would much rather my cat inhabit the tree than eat it like she currently is doing all the time. But no, man, I love this. I love Garfield. I know we've covered this show before, but Garfield is a voice that lives rent free in my head. But there were, like you guys were talking about, those emotional points in this that I wasn't necessarily prepared for. For Garfield to curl up on Grandma's lap like cats are supposed to do, and both of them just a bit curmudgeonly for each other, and that was what they needed. It was just great. I love seeing that side of Garfield because you wouldn't like him if he was always salty. He's got to have some redeeming, charming quality to him, and he definitely does. Yeah, it was fantastic. A++ would watch again.
Yay.
Yep.
Fantastic. We have one more holiday episode before the end. But before we get to that, feedback. I hear we have some.
We do have some feedback. I would like to call out specifically Ron. Ron, just want to let you know we don't have an editorial staff, so we look to people like you to make sure that we're wrong. We know it. And we can take corrective actions in the future to not be wrong again. So Ron sent in this email, said, I read the title, so watch season 1, episode 12 of Mork and Mindy. Then I fire up the podcast and the thumb says season 1, episode 4. Huh? And then I go to YouTube and by the name alone find the episode as season 1, episode 13. Now had to take the time to watch that one too. One too many. Can we at least get the title and thumbnail in sync? Yes.
I
Thank you for
mean,
your email.
that's old TV for you.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say we can try when every stinking streaming service has them listed differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
really true.
Yep.
Yeah, I think maybe we had the thumbnail. Maybe there's a typo somewhere. You know, we
Mhm.
just look. We do what we can around here at the Orbiting HQ. If those were the days. But
Mhm.
thank you for letting us know. We'll make sure we put that in our quality control.
I did not
I.e.,
realize there was a third different one. I knew the episode 12 and episode 4. I didn't know there was an episode 13 listing somewhere. So thank you, Ron, for finding that.
Beats me. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I am assuming that he's fussing at us. Maybe he's fussing at YouTube. Maybe it's
I mean,
YouTube that needs to correct their behavior.
Right.
Well, they definitely do.
It's not
I
me,
mean,
it's them that are almost, they're the ones who are wrong. Yeah, but that's all the email we got. But thank you. Seriously though, thank you, Ron. We appreciate the email. Even when it's to tell us how wrong we were, it's a lot of fun. And I'm glad you sent that in. Please continue.
Yes.
Do we have
Yeah.
anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple comments on the Facebook about Garfield.
Yes.
One from a buddy of mine, Josh, said, "My son loves this, as did I." And then another comment from our tadpole buddy Jerry Tolbert, Dr.
Oh,
Tolbert,
Dr. Jerry.
just quoting the good old fashioned Christmas down on the farm.
See? Also
Okay.
activated.
Yep.
Also activated. Ugh. Fantastic. Now I have to go look up how old Jerry is because I need to know.
Same age,
There's a
same
non-zero
birthday.
chance that he was 6 years old in 1987.
Yeah. Was your
Jerry,
birthday
did you
on a
put your
Monday
birthday
this
on
year?
here? Jerry, where you at, bud? No helpful information. He's got a very reasonable digital footprint. Fine. Nope. He was born in 1980. All right. So he's in the
Dang.
Nope,
year.
he's within
He's in
he's within a
he's
standard
the year.
deviation.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yep. All right. Sorry I stalked you, Jerry. Fantastic. We have one more though. We have
We
one
do.
more.
Mhm.
It may be the night before the day now, but we have one more holiday episode, and it's you, Travis.
It is. And while we will technically be after Christmas Day when we record this next episode, we're staying on Christmas Day
We are. It's very important.
and we're staying in 1987
Yeah, we are.
because what we are going to watch next episode is something that is also very near and dear to my heart and I believe existed on the same VHS tape as A Garfield Christmas for
For
me.
sure, absolutely.
And that is a claymation Christmas celebration.
Yes.
What?
This
Now-
was I vacillated between two to choose when trying to pick my episode. I happened to talk to Travis, who was also trying to decide between two, and they were the same two.
Wow.
Yep. It was, I was like,
born within
I-
4 months of each other.
This is
I had
incredible.
texted Amy and I was like, I can't decide if I want to do a Garfield Christmas or claymation. And I get back the response of, I'm thinking about those same two. I was like, all right, I'll take claymation then.
Oh
And
no, it originally aired on the same channel on the exact same day. So
Okay.
okay,
yeah,
so yeah,
we for
it
sure we're on the
absolutely.
same tape.
Yep, you
Same
take the
tape.
whole hour.
Yeah.
TV.
So yeah, a claymation Christmas celebration. It is available to watch on Daily Motion. So we will have
Oh, good.
the info for that in the show notes of this episode. I cannot wait to talk about this. I have, I started watching it and just the things that were getting unlocked in my brain.
I mean, I don't want to like
were-
oversell it, but this is formative television for me.
Mhm.
A lot of
Not
my
overselling
personality
it
is
at
based
all.
off of this.
Yep.
I just
Yeah. So I cannot wait to talk about this because if you weren't around at that time to watch some of this stuff, I don't know that you can fully appreciate what claymation was at that time. So this is going to be super fun to talk about. So a claymation Christmas celebration from 1987. We'll have the link for the Daily Motion video in the show notes.
Yep. What an
fantastic.
art form, you know?
So excited. Yeah, if you've got 800 extra hours, you too can make a claymation.
I think it was a behind the scenes Nightmare Before Christmas or something where the director of that Henry Selick. Henry Selick. Henry Selick is basically taking pictures, like breaks down. He's like, why would anyone make a movie this way?
My favorite things from stop motion are when they run it at full speed, but it's a zoomed out view so that you can watch the humans that are
Oh
involved.
yeah,
Yes.
I watched
So
them do.
good.
There's a kids show on Amazon called Tumbleleaf that aired there for a long time. It was a show that respected children's intelligence, and I liked it a lot. But it was stop motion, and what they did the whole thing where you could watch them work on it, and I'm just like, this is 3 seasons max before all these people are jumping out windows. Like, there's no way you can create this much content.
It's not sustainable.
No, it can't be done.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. If you want to tell us we're wrong or tell us how you feel about Garfield or Claymation Christmas, oh my God, I'm so excited, man. I can't help it. It's why I love Carol of the Bells, and that seems weird. to me, but
Oh my gosh.
Here we are. You can email us at thosewerethedayshow@gmail.com, or you can find us on places. Wait, we got a
We got a blue sky. Yeah. Those days show.bsky.social.
bsky.social.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're there.
That's
Everything's in the show notes, though.
Yeah, you'll find it all there.
It's all there.
All the links are
but
accurate.
we love the feedback, obviously.
Oh yes. Do you remember the Claymation Christmas Spectacular?
Were you born plus or minus 1 year from 1981?
Yes.
Were you activated like a Cold War sleeper agent?
Lord. The funny thing is, I'm that way about Claymation Christmas. Not Garfield, but
Yeah. No, Claymation
we'll talk
Christmas.
about it. But I can't wait.
Cannot
This
wait.
will be a journey for me. I look forward to it.
Oh, I'm so excited, Stephen. I can't. I'm so excited that we get to have one
Yeah.
new outside viewer because I know what it looks like. Like I can see what it looks like from the outside. Oh boy.
I'm brand new.
All
How
right.
many gummies should I buy? Don't answer that.
I mean, maybe don't. You might. That might be too much.
You won't need them. You won't need them.
Yeah, it might hurt.
Don't do drugs,
You
kids.
might.
Yeah.
You might get paranoid.
Who knows?
All right. So until next time, and a Claymation Christmas for me, for Travis, for Stephen, and for Audie. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
There, I said it. Now get out of here.